Welcome back. So Percy is at his apartment. His mom magically came back, and now he's dealing with his mom and ugly Gabe, smelly Gabe. So here we are. So he realized at the very end of this that his mom has been abused by Gabe. That does not make anybody happy. A balloon of anger started expanding in my chest. I came toward Gabe, instinctively taking my pen out of my pocket. He just laughed. What, punk? You gonna write on me? You touch me, you're going to jail forever. You understand? Hey, Gabe, his friend interrupted. He's just a kid. Gabe looked at him resentfully, and mimicked in a falsetto voice, Just a kid! His other friends laughed like idiots. I'll be nice to you, punk. Gabe showed me his tobacco-stained teeth. I'll give you 5 minutes to get your stuff and clear out. After that, I call the police. Gabe! My mother pleaded. He ran away, Gabe told her. Let him stay gone. I was itching to uncap Riptide, but even if I did, the blade wouldn't hurt humans, and Gabe, by the loosest definition, was human. My mother took my arm. Please, Percy, come on. We'll go to your room. I let her pull me away, my hands still trembling with rage. My room had been completely filled with Gabe's junk. There were stacks of used car batteries, a rotting bouquet of sympathy flowers with a card from somebody who'd seen his Barbara Walters interview. Gabe's just upset, honey, my mother told me. I'll talk to him later. I'm sure it'll work out. Mom, it'll never work out, not as long as Gabe's here. She wrung her hands nervously. I'll take you to work with me for the rest of the summer. In the fall, maybe there's another boarding school. Mom. She lowered her eyes. I'm trying, Percy. I need some time. A package appeared on my bed. At least I could have sworn it hadn't been there a moment before. It was a battered cardboard box about the right size to fit a basketball. The address on the mailing slip was in my own handwriting. It said The Gods, Mount Olympus, 600th floor, Empire State Building, New York, New York, with best wishes, Percy Jackson. Remember this? This is way back with Auntie M, Medusa. Over the top, in black marker and a man's clear, bold print, was the address of our apartment and the words, Return to Sender. Suddenly I understood what Poseidon had told me on Olympus. A package. A decision. Whatever else you do, know that you are mine. You are a true son of the sea god. So you have Medusa's head. What do you do with that? I know exactly what I would do. Let's see what happens. I looked at my mother. Mom, do you want Gabe gone? Percy, it isn't that simple. Mom, just tell me. That jerk has been hitting you. Do you want him gone or not? She hesitated, then nodded almost imperceptibly. Yes, Percy, I do. And I'm trying to get up my courage to tell him, but you can't do this for me. You can't solve my problems. I looked at the box. I could solve her problem. I wanted to slice that package open, plop it up on the poker table, and take out what was inside. I could start my very own garden statue, or statue garden, right there in the living room. That's what a Greek hero would do in the stories, I thought. It's what Gabe deserves. But a hero's story always ends in a tragedy. Poseidon had told me that. I remember the underworld. I thought about Gabe's spirit drifting forever in the fields of Asphodel, or condemned to some hideous torture behind the barbed wire of the fields of punishment. An eternal poker game, sitting up to his waist in boiling oil listening to opera music. Did I have the right to send someone there? Even Gabe? A month ago I wouldn't have hesitated. Now, I can do it, I told my mom. One look inside this box, and he'll never bother you again. She glanced at the package and seemed to understand immediately. No, Percy, she said, stepping away. You can't. Poseidon called you a queen, I told her. He said he hadn't met a woman like you in 1,000 years. Her cheeks flushed. Percy, you deserve better than this, Mom. You should go to college, get your degree. You can write your novel, meet a nice guy maybe, live in a nice house. You don't need to protect me anymore by staying with Gabe. Let me get rid of him. She wiped a tear off her cheek. You sound so much like your father, she said. He offered to stop the tide for me once. He offered to build me a palace at the bottom of the sea. He thought he could solve all my problems with a wave of his hand. What's wrong with that? Her multicolored eyes seemed to search inside me. I think you know, Percy. I think you're enough like me to understand. If my life is going to mean anything, I have to live it myself. I can't let a god take care of me or my son. I have to find the courage on my own. Your quest has reminded me of that. We listened to the sound of poker chips and swearing, ESPN from the living room television. I'll leave the box, I said. If he threatens you. She looked pale, but she nodded. Where will you go, Percy? Half-Blood Hill? For the summer or forever? I guess that depends. This is an interesting question, too. What would you do if you were Percy? Would you want to go there just for summer or forever? I think I'd like to just do it for summer, but I think Gabe would have to be gone in order for that to happen. We locked eyes, and I sensed that we had an agreement. We would see how things stood at the end of summer. She kissed my forehead. You'll be a hero, Percy. You'll be the greatest of all. I took one long last look at my bedroom. I had a feeling I'd never see it again. Then I walked with my mother to the front door. Leaving so soon, punk? Gabe called after me. Good riddance. I had one last twinge of doubt. How could I turn down the perfect chance to take revenge on him? I was leaving here without saving my mother. Hey, Sally, he yelled. What about that meatloaf, huh? A steely look of anger flared in my mother's eyes, and I thought, just maybe, I was leaving her in good hands after all, her own. The meatloaf is coming right up, dear, she told Gabe. Meatloaf surprise. Yes! She looked at me and winked. The last thing I saw at the door as the door swung closed was my mother staring at Gabe, as if she were contemplating how he would look as a garden statue. Yes! The book is getting interesting. We're on chapter 22. I think there are, I believe, 23 chapters in this book. So we're on chapter 22, which is called The Prophecy Comes True. I'm just trying to see if there's another chapter yet, or is this the last one? This might be the last chapter. It's a long one. So we're down to the final, what do we have here? About 20 pages left. So we're getting close to the end. Great listening. Have a great weekend. I miss you guys.